If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, "He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone." Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power or our will. Don't just say you have read books. Show that through them you have learned to think better, to be a more discriminating and reflective person. Books are the training weights of the mind. They are very helpful, but it would be a bad mistake to suppose that one has made progress simply by having internalized their contents. Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. He can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by him. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. He who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh at. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. Circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself. People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them. Other people's views and troubles can be contagious. Don't sabotage yourself by unwittingly adopting negative, unproductive attitudes through your associations with others. Only the educated are free. Remember, it is not enough to be hit or insulted to be harmed. You must believe that you are being harmed. If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. Which is why it is essential that we not respond impulsively to impressions. Take a moment before reacting, and you will find it easier to maintain control. You are a little soul carrying around a corpse. I laugh at those who think they can damage me. They do not know who I am. They do not know what I think. They cannot even touch the things which are really mine and with which I live. First learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak. To accuse others for one's own misfortune is a sign of want of education. To accuse oneself shows that one's education has begun. To accuse neither oneself nor others shows that one's education is complete. No man is free who is not master of himself. Nature hath given men one tongue but 2 ears, that we may hear from others twice as much as we speak. Seek not the good in external things, seek it in yourselves. Attach yourself to what is spiritually superior, regardless of what other people think or do. Hold to your true aspirations no matter what is going on around you. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. The greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. Skillful pilots gain their reputation from storms and tempests. Caretake this moment. Immerse yourself in its particulars. Respond to this person, this challenge, this deed. Quit evasions. Stop giving yourself needless trouble. It is time to really live, to fully inhabit the situation you happen to be in now. Don't seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and all will be well with you. Do not try to seem wise to others. Small-minded people blame others. Average people blame themselves. The wise see all blame as foolishness. Know, first, who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. God has entrusted me with myself. No man is free who is not master of himself. A man should so live that his happiness shall depend as little as possible on external things. The world turns aside to let any man pass who knows where he is going. If evil be said of thee, and if it be true, correct thyself. If it be a lie, laugh at it. I must die. Must I then die lamenting? I must be put in chains. Must I then also lament? I must go into exile. Does any man then hinder me from going with smiles and cheerfulness and contentment? What really frightens and dismays us is not external events themselves, but the way in which we think about them. It is not things that disturb us, but our interpretation of their significance. You become what you give your attention to. If you would be a reader, read. If a writer, write. If you wish to be a writer, write. Demand not that things happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and you will go on well. We are not disturbed by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens to us. Remember that you ought to behave in life as you would at a banquet. As something is being passed around, it comes to you. Stretch out your hand, take a portion of it politely. It passes on, do not detain it. Or it has not come to you yet, do not project your desire to meet it, but wait until it comes in front of you. So act toward children, so toward a wife, so toward office, so toward wealth. Difficulty shows what men are. Therefore, when a difficulty falls upon you, remember that God, like a trainer of wrestlers, has matched you with a rough young man. Why? So that you may become an Olympic conqueror, but it is not accomplished without sweat. Events do not just happen, but arrive by appointment. Know you not that a good man does nothing for appearance sake, but for the sake of having done right? It is not so much what happens to you as how you think about what happens. Asked, who is the rich man? Epictetus replied, he who is content. It is better to die of hunger having lived without grief and fear than to live with a troubled spirit amid abundance. If you would cure anger, do not feed it. Say to yourself, I used to be angry every day, then every other day, now only every third or fourth day. When you reach 30 days, offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving to the gods. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Either God wants to abolish evil and cannot, or he can, but does not want to. Men are not afraid of things, but of how they view them. It is our attitude toward events, not events themselves, which we can control. Nothing is by its own nature calamitous. Even death is terrible only if we fear it. An ignorant person is inclined to blame others for his own misfortune. To blame oneself is proof of progress. But the wise man never has to blame another or himself. Appearances to the mind are of 4 kinds. Things either are what they appear to be, or they neither are, nor appear to be, or they are, and do not appear to be, or they are not, and yet appear to be. Rightly to aim in all these cases is the wise man's task. No great thing is created suddenly. If you want to make progress, put up with being perceived as ignorant or naive in worldly matters. Don't aspire to a reputation for sagacity. If you do impress others as somebody, don't altogether believe it. You have to realize it isn't easy to keep your will in agreement with nature as well as externals. Caring about the one inevitably means you are going to shortchange the other. It is unrealistic to expect people to see you as you see yourself. Freedom is secured not by the fulfilling of men's desires, but by the removal of desire. Your happiness depends on 3 things, all of which are within your power: your will, your ideas concerning the events in which you are involved, and the use you make of your ideas. When things seem to have reached that stage, merely say, "I won't play any longer," and take your departure. But if you stay, stop lamenting. Give me by all means the shorter and nobler life, instead of one that is longer but of less account. If someone tried to take control of your body and make you a slave, you would fight for freedom. Yet how easily you hand over your mind to anyone who insults you. When you dwell on their words and let them dominate your thoughts, you make them your master. No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a figure. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen. The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. On the occasion of every accident that befalls you, remember to turn to yourself and inquire what power you have for turning it to use. You may fetter my leg, but Zeus himself cannot get the better of my free will. Who are those people by whom you wish to be admired? Are they not these whom you are in the habit of saying that they are mad? What then? Do you wish to be admired by the mad? No person is free who is not master of himself. Control thy passions lest they take vengeance on thee. If someone speaks badly of you, do not defend yourself against the accusations, but reply, "You obviously don't know about my other vices, otherwise you would have mentioned these as well."